I would definitely like to request you. Would you please walk me through about your introduction if you don't mind?
Okay, definitely. Thank you so much giving me this opportunity. My name is Preeti. I am from UP. In UP, I basically belong to Gorakhpur. I am belong like village, and and if I am talking about my qualification, I have done BSc Biology and Chemistry. I have done B.Ed. I also cracked UP TET and CTET. It is a eligibility teaching test, and I'm home tutor. I teach science subject. Nowadays, I am learning this language. I am totally beginner. If I am talking about my hobby, I love writing. I write Hindi poem and dancing and painting. And as well as I am mother, one of kid. It is all about me. So, what
Yeah,
is
it is
your
great.
hobby? Like you don't have any hobby?
All the people are having thousands of hobbies, but when you are under compulsion of doing something, so that time you forget about all the hobbies, right? You
Yeah,
forget
yeah.
about yourself itself. So I had lots of hobbies, but now these days I only have one hobby, that is listening to music. So I always prefer, whenever I feel free, whenever I get leisure time, apart from having conversations, apart from my work, so that time I spend on listening to music.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, especially I am only one doing only one thing. My hobby, I write something when I have get time. So that time I am write something because as a mother and housemaker, I don't have time to share my emotion. And sometimes I think that no one under it is my personal opinion. No one understand our emotions. So that time I am write something like poem with my emotion, create
Okay, so
something.
hmm. So that is created by you itself. Like you don't copy anything from anywhere, and you are
Oh no,
delivering the authentic content in that as well. Am I right?
yeah, I am. Yeah, you are right. I am not like I am not saying that I am professional, but yeah, I create my own, my thought and anything life and anything which kind emotion that time I write
Yes.
that
Yes,
according to
you already.
situation.
Yeah. You already have mentioned that this is one of your hobbies, and you must like to do it. You already have mentioned this thing, and I completely accord with you. Like, if we have some kind of hobbies, so that time we always feel like that we should always, do those things periodically or relentlessly.
Okay, so you are like very good at this language. I feel it. I am not master, but because I am having session many people, so I feel that you are good this language. So what are you doing for improving this language? Anything like anything doing special for improving this language, or you are doing same thing like reading, writing, speaking, and listening?
Okay, so as you very well know, as you already have mentioned each and everything, that there are four aspects of spoken English. So I also have been doing the same thing, right? But the thing is this: people have their own way to do the things, to grab the things, right?
Um,
So I always try to grab the things by listening to the people, like I'm talking to you. So my I supposed to grab something from your conversation as well. So I have been doing this thing as well, and simultaneously I need to work on many more things, like grammatical part, like vocabularies and all. If you literally want to become very eloquent speaker in this language, so you have to work on multiple things altogether.
um, Yeah, I feel that you are using very like good vocab during your conversation. So
Then only we can do the beautification of this language, if we know how to incorporate the words and how to utilize proper vocabulary in a proper context. Right? If we are able to do that particular thing, it means that you are able to utter or represent yourself in a better version all the time.
so how much time is spent like as a homemaker, as a mother, I don't have time. I want to improve my spoken skill like very soon. I know about it is a language, take time, but I am not consistent. It is my problem. I tried. because but sometimes happen that time is not my own hand by something like emergency in my home, my kid sometime ill, so that's why I face that kind problem. So how much time you are spent for learning this language?
Okay, so as I mentioned in my introduction as well, that it's been nearly 2 plus years to me. I've been exerting to vanquish this language, and still I'm in the process. I'm in the pipeline to gather lot many informations about the spoken English. And when it comes to like how much time I spend in a day on this language or on practice, so it depends on time. Like if I'm able to find leisure time like for 2 hours, for 1 hour, for 30 minutes, for 15 minutes, so uh, I always strive to have conversations with the people in that particular moment.
That's great. And initially stage, how much time you are spent? Because I am now initial stage, so that's why I am curious about.
You are, if you are saying that you are at initial stage, so no, you are not at initial stage, because you are able to speak this language. You have been having this conversation with me for last 9 minutes. It means that you are not at, at the initial stage in the stepping step. So when I was in the stepping step, so I was not able to utter even a single sentence in this language. Yeah, I
um,
was not able to even comprehend like what the things are being spoken by the people. So it used to happen to me. So if you need to consider yourself that you are much convicted person, you are much mm, counted person, so that you can utter this language in a great manner.
okay, thank you so much. I'm taking this compliment, but I because I am not, I am already mentioned that I am not consistent, so that's why I feel guilty somewhere.
So do you listen to some English podcasts, some English
Yeah,
videos?
yeah, I do. If I have time, even I like it. I like it. Listen to English podcast. I am not that kind person who is like waste our time watching unnecessary reels and like serials. I don't like. So when I have get time and I am bored, so that time I am prefer to listening English podcast and something listening like I am like Kiran Bedi ma'ams and Priyanka Chopra. So sometime I listen them.
Okay, so when did you start speaking this language for the first time?
I think approximately 6 months ago, but I'm not consistent. Sometime I quit quit my journey 1 month and 10 days and sometime 15 days, so it is happens with me because only for my family, no one like no one support me, no one like say no that you don't do this, but no one support me. If like I take this session, if someone come in Zoom, so definitely I cut their call without any reason because he and she disturbing me. He don't understand that it is important for me.
Exactly.
He thought that I am wasting my time because I am
People,
I am
when
belong to village. There is mentality what I am doing learning this language, this area. So everyone asked me that question, and everyone told me that I am preparing for government job, and you know about in village only for one resource if you want to achieve something in your life, for especially girls and women. So everyone told me that you are preparing, but yeah, I am preparing now, but for in UP vacancy is not coming for teachers.
exactly.
So
Actually, my sister also has completed her education in the same stream. Like she completed her BSc in mathematics, and later on she completed BTC as well. And but she's also have been looking for the job in government sector, and it's been long time she has been questing for the job in the government
uh,
sector. But as you mentioned, that vacancies are not there in UP for teachers. So same goes to her as well. Like vacancies are not there in the UP for the teachers, and that is why she is just preparing for the government examination relentlessly and periodically.
Or sometimes it is happen that if you are doing like simultaneously like without gapping and nothing happens in your life, like nothing happens good for in your life, so sometimes you are demotivated that what are you
Exactly.
doing, I'm doing right or wrong, and many things it happens. So I am passionate about this language like since childhood. I think everyone passionate about this language because
Exactly.
in childhood, if you are like villagers, because you don't know about what is this, and it's a human mentality that you don't know anything, then you can more attract those things.
Exactly.
So,
Now
so
these days,
I
yeah,
yeah,
now these days
sorry.
it is much prevalent that you must know how to deal with the people in English
Uh,
communication. Because now these days, each and every parent is thinking that I should teach my student in the English medium school, and my kid should be speaking in English as well. So every
uh,
parent, are thinking like this.
Sometimes I'm thinking that if everyone is speaking English, so what is happen in our society? If everyone forget about our mother tongue, so it is yeah,
Exactly.
it is a good
This
that
is
you are learning this language.
Yeah. Not now. This is not going to happen right away in couple of years, but later on, after a decade or 2 decades, there would be the possibility that people must be speaking in this English language itself, and people must be going to forget the Hindi itself, because when it comes to get the job, when it comes to showcase your personality in front of somebody, so that time you have to utter, you have to talk to them in this English language particularly. So if you are going to a city, like if you're going to Delhi NCR, so that time you have to attend any kind of interviews, or you only can attend those interviews in English language. Apart from that, if you're talking in Hindi, so you would be considered a waste of space. So one or the other day, this era is going to come that people must be speaking in English itself.
Yeah, it is like yeah. I am saying that it is a language, and it is a like important that you can learn this language, but don't take more like serious that you will forget about your mother tongue. I am not appreciate that kind thing, but it is a depend person to person because that time this language necessary. So what can I say? Because as a
Exactly.
teacher, if I want to teach a good school like private school, so it is important that I know about this language
Yes,
very
yes.
well.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
only for
this is, yeah, you said correct that if somebody is not supporting his national language, so this is not a great thing. This is not a phenomenal thing, but when the people will be having some kind of compulsion to speak another language, so that time people will be speaking only English, right? Because they literally will be getting thousands of opportunities while speaking this English language, right? Otherwise, they are definitely going to face thousands of hindrances or impediments or cumbersomes in their life if they are not speaking this language.
yeah. I agree. That's why that time everyone want to teach our kid this language because in initial days it is easy that if any kid like initial stage, so it is easy that he learn any language very easy way. It is a psychology for kid, so that's why everyone want to that kid speak in English in initial stage, and only for this reason that time forget mother tongue our kid. So what can I say? So one question, if you don't mind, so I can ask.
Yeah, sure, sure. Go ahead without taking the
Okay, so
permission.
your like vocabulary are each every sentence are very like good. So how to you like like sorry, how to like learn this language because I learn vocab, but after some days I forget, totally forget. So
Hmm.
it is good that you learn. So, but how to recall? when you have connect someone and when you have talking someone.
Okay, so if somebody is having some kind of excruciating issues while dealing with somebody in English communication, or he doesn't know how to actually incorporate the vocabularies or advanced structures while he's speaking. So it happens with everybody, right, including me. And when we are accustomed to doing these things, like when we are accustomed to incorporating some words, some spoken English structures in our spoken in our spoken journey or in our spoken communication, so that time we are not going to face any kind of excruciating issue, right? So if we are finding some kind of chaos in our communication, so we have to analyze ourselves, like what is the inevitable thing right now to work on, right? So if we are able to recognize that particular issue, that if somebody is able to recognize that he is not great at vocabularies, so he must need to work on vocabularies that time, so that he is not going to face any kind of hindrances while incorporating the vocabularies while speaking. So we need to introspect ourselves, right? And then later on we must have some conviction on ourselves, so that if somebody is asking any random, any impromptu question to us, so that time we'll be able to elaborate or articulate that particular question.
Um, Great, great. Because in my case, I learn through this conversation many vocab, but when I try to use this vocab, I remember 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. Like after 3 days, I forget. When I like connect someone and try to use this sentence, so I'm not able to using. So I feel that I am not learning vocab active mode. So that's why I'm asking,
Okay, I'm
and
telling
I
you.
think it.
No, I'm telling you what you can do to recall the vocabularies when there would be the time of usage of that particular vocabulary. So you can do one thing, like if you are listening any kind of particular vocabulary, right? You need to jot down that vocabulary on a notebook, and you just need to repeat that story again and again. Not a story, repeat
Mm,
that vocabulary again and again. And simultaneously, what you can do, like if you're learning that particular vocabulary from a podcast, so you need to listen to that podcast each and every week. Like if there are 4 weeks in a month, so you have to listen to that particular podcast 4 times in a month, right?
mm,
So that you'll be able to remember that particular context, that in which context this vocabulary was used in that particular podcast, and when there would be the time of usage in your communication, you also would be able to incorporate and inculcate that vocabularies over a long period of time, and then you will have a tremendous and you will have a great impact on your communication as well.
mm. Yeah, I think because if you are not using anything, if you are learning and you are not recall and you are not using this, like you are mentioned that you are listen that particular podcast and many times, and after that you are able to using. So yes, it is right. I think that I am making that kind of mistake, because if you are not using this vocab many times your story, so you are not able to recall.
Yes, you
So
are not doing any kind of mistake. This is privilege for you that you have been getting such an opportunity to listen to any podcast periodically, right? And if you are doing everything spontaneously, then you are definitely gonna grow by leaps and bounds, and you'll be able to hit the sky as well in this.
okay, so what is your like aim after learning this language? I think it you are good at this language that time, like you are good at communication. I am not saying that advanced speaker, I don't know about more, because I am learning, I am learner. But anything specific planning, because everyone have planning, like my planning, if I don't have able to get government job, so when I my kid grown up, that time I will join any private good private school, maybe. So that's why if I know about this language very well, so I will do private job in the school. So what is your anything like planning or you are doing only for your passion? Many few people
Yeah,
learning
you
this
can say
language
so
about
that
passion.
yeah, actually, you can just say so this thing like this that I have this passion to learn this language because, as you told me in the beginning of this session, that you also had this dream to speak this language. So I also had a dream to speak this language in my stepping steps. So, but that time I was not much aware about the spoken English structures and the vocabularies and all, and it's been nearly 2 plus years I have been just exerting to conquer this language. So so I would definitely like to tell you that that this is also one of my hobbies, that I need to deal with the people in English communication. If I'm like having any in-person conversation with somebody, so that time I literally want to touch the base or break the ice in this English language itself.